Okay, thanks, Vampati. So they just added some weight here. Looks like, okay, in the Edge browser, it's taking more time. That's why I added it, time here. This is also okay. And then in the login.java, there's one more change we have done. What is that change? Let us see that. In the login.java, what I have done, login 002, I have commented. Login 003, I have commented. See, these are the two changes. And even you can just see it from here also. If you can just see here, next difference. Okay, so it's a previous difference. See, this is the one, this is the one. That means I have just commented, I just kept only one test case for testing. This is what is the change that I made. Okay, so now I am okay. So that means what and all are the changes. These are the changes. Now what else is a change? Edge is also a change, right? Because I wanted to test on Edge browser. That's why I was just doing all this. And then we wanted to read from my employee JSON file also. I created an employee.json file. Now this is a new file. This is a new file, correct? So this is not a change. See, this file is not there in the master branch, which is there in my remote repository, right? So now this file is not there unless I add it and then commit it, then push it, it will go. Otherwise it won't go. For now I'm not going to do. For now I'm just going to push, commit only these ones. Config.properties. Let us push this. What is that? So before I push it, anyway, I can push it, I can show it to you. But before I push it, I just wanted to show you one thing. So what is that? So if you want to run your test cases on the Edge browser, what is Edge browser? Microsoft Edge. Okay. So there are hardly few things that you have to do. First thing is, just let me just show it to you. What are the steps that you have to do? Okay. So this is the command that you have to run. I will share this with you. This is only the command that you have to run. See, what the beauty with Microsoft Edge this time is, they've realized that people are moving away from their browsers. So that is why what they've done is, nobody's using Edge for testing on Selenium, right? So what they've done is, anyway on your Windows, Edge browser is installed. So what you have to do is just open a command prompt. But open it as an administrator. When you open it as an administrator, it will open it as a, if you just see here, it will be in the blue screen kind of thing. So now what you have to do is, you just have to run this command. So by default, whatever Edge browser which is there, see, that's it. Enter. It will run. Right? So I'm not running it. I've already executed it. Once you do this, then the only change that you have to do is what? This change. The browser you have to add. See, if it is Edge, then I have to say Edge driver. No need to add this also. This is also not required. Just say driver is equal to new Edge driver. That's all. If you just add this, if I launch it now, it will run it on the Edge browser. I'll just show it to you. I'll just show this to you. So now it should ideally launch it in the Edge. It is very, very fast. I was also surprised that Microsoft has really made this wonderful change. And this is the first time, in fact, I am running it on Edge, to be very frank to you. I was maybe running it earlier on Internet Explorer, but on the Edge, it is very new. So now it is compiling and then running that. So only one test case is there, one login it should do. So can you see here, it is launching the web. This is the This is the Edge browser. Okay, so it's launching that. And then this is active time, which is slow. Okay, it's not the Edge which is slow. And once this is done, then it will enter the username and password, then it will log in. Okay. So at least we just wanted to see whether we are able to launch and log into active time using the Edge browser or not. So which we are able to do it. Okay, so that means we are good. Yeah. Now see, this is passing. Just give me 1 second. All right. So now why there's a failure? So that we can see basically what is happening here is the specified selector is invalid. Okay. So maybe something wrong I've done here, but that's fine. So that is related to XPath, right? That you don't have to worry. So at least we were able to launch and log in using the Edge browser, right? So what is that? What is the thing that you need to remember? Just say Edge driver here that you'll have to import. That's all. Is that clear, Umapati, to you? So, but one thing here is, all of you remember this. So you just have to go to your Edge browser once, check the version of it. Okay, Microsoft Edge. If you just check the version of it, because there's some compatibility issues that they've said. Okay. So if you can just see here, go to settings. If you can just go to the last one over here. So this is the version that I have. So if you have anything around this one, 18, version 18, then it will work for you also. In case if you can just check which version of Edge you have on your machine. If you have a different version, then there is a different one more step that you have to do for that. Or you can upgrade it.
I have 18 one.
18 only. I think by default it will get upgraded, auto upgraded, just like Chrome. So it should be fine. Okay. Is that clear to you, Umapati, what we have to do? We just have to run that command. I'll share this command. So straight away, let me copy this on the Zoom chat. All of you just copy it quickly in case if I forget it. Ensure that open the command prompt as an administrator and then run this command. And then after that, just say driver is equal to Edge driver. That's all. Rest all would be same. I will be anyway pushing this to my GitHub. Okay. Preet, is it clear to you?
Yeah, this is clear.
Satyapriya, is that clear to you?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Arif?
Yes, sir.
Umapati?
Yeah, boss.
Okay, so this is a simple one, just like the way we switched between Chrome and Firefox. This is a very, very simple one. So don't, have to worry much about that. Okay, so nobody will use much of what you are, which one, Edge, but still you should know that, right? So now going one step further. What is that? So let me teach you this first, then I'll go to the other topic. Jenkins, I think I've stopped it. Unfortunately, I will have to start it again. Jenkins.var. So how do I do it? So just open the command prompt over here. So how do you launch Jenkins? Just say java-jar jenkins.var -- http port is equal to whatever port you want to launch. I was using 9666. Enter. So this is going to launch my Jenkins. Okay, so in case if you find any issues, what is happening here? Hyphen I was giving me. How many of you have installed Jenkins? Have you anybody reached over there to that level?
Yeah.
Arif?
I'm trying, sir.
Okay. Umapati, you tried it, right? Umapati, anyways.
Okay, I've done it.
Okay. Satyapriya, were you able to do that? Jenkins part? Satyapriya? Preeti, did you do that?
No, I didn't try.
No, sir. No, sir, I haven't tried that.
Okay, so just try all of you. Okay, so now why I'm telling this to you is maybe let the Jenkins start. So now why I'm telling this to you is, we created a job in Jenkins, which we were able to run our pom.xml from there. We were able to run some Windows simple, batch command, right? So those are all very important. You should know how to basically create the jobs in Jenkins. Okay, so now once it is fully up, I can. It says Jenkins is fully up and running. Okay, so then I'll be able to teach you that. So that is something that I'll have to teach to you. So let me come back to the contents. The IE Edge browser is done. I'm removing that for now. Okay, because otherwise it will be there on my backlog list. So now meanwhile the Jenkins is coming up, what I'll do is I will just quickly teach you about the JDBC connection. Now for JDBC connection, so basically Java to database connectivity. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, right? So remember, whenever you need to connect to any database, okay, so this is a very simple topic. I don't want to take time because it will be simply wasting everybody's time. This is something that is easily available on the internet, but still I'll try to give you some picture over here. So now this is your Java. This is your program basically. So now this is your database, right? So database could be what? Oracle, it could be any RDBMS, MySQL, or SQL Server, okay, or it could be DB2, right? Or it could be Informix, Sybase, or your any RDBMS that which is there, right? Sybase, Informix, or any database. Okay, so Oracle, yeah, still the leader in the market. So now see, you're using a Java program here. See, any database will have what? One IP. Basically, database is a server, right? It is deployed somewhere. It will have IP, and then you need a username and password. And on which port? Host. Always remember socket, that is IP address :port is what you need, right? Username, password. Now this is what is called as a connection string. So any database, if you want to connect, you need this connection string. So connection string basically comprises of your IP port, username, password, these information, right? And then in Java, what they have done is they have written some classes. You just use that class, and then using that class, you just create an object of one class, and then there are a few methods there. Just use that methods, you'll be able to connect to the database. That's all, as simple as that. Then whatever query you want to run, you just pass it as a string. SQL query, whatever SQL query you want to run. For example, I want to say select, say star from, say EMP table, regular employee table, right? So then it will basically, you will be able to run this query. Okay, how to do that? So for that, you have to install a database. Steps: install database on local machine. So which database you have to install? I have installed MySQL, because it is little lightweight. Oracle takes some time, resources. That's why I've installed MySQL. So once you install MySQL, if you can just see over here, this is how the MySQL developer basically Workbench looks like. So by default okay, by the way, how many of you used MySQL DB here? Tell me. Preeti, have you used it?
Yeah, I have used it.
You have used it, okay. Satyapriya?
Yeah, no, I'm not MySQL. We used Oracle, sir.
You used Oracle. If you use Oracle, it's a baby of that, same only. Umapati, how about you?
No, partial.
Any databases? Did you get a chance to?
Oracle I've used it.
Oracle you use, right? It's same as that. It's exactly same as that. Even Oracle is, I would say easier too, because Oracle and Java basically they're from the same parent company. Arif, how about you?
Yeah,
MySQL
I know,
database.
sir.
You know.
I know something.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what I have done here is I've just created one table called as EMP, right? And then 100 Peter, 200 Smith salary. So this table was not there. I've just added this. Okay. So where we have added it, I have added it in a schema called as sys. Okay. So sys is a schema. We will not go into the DB details now, right? So you should understand. For now, just remember that there's a table, and the table name is employee. Schema is basically the rules for creating the tables. Okay, so this is under this schema. You can say it's umbrella. It's under this schema. So now the columns are ID, ename, and salary. ID is basically coming from. Okay, so just here ID is coming from. If I have to tell you, how do I tell you? So just here ID. ID. When I created this table, I will have to teach you database looks like. Maybe very quickly I'll teach you. So basically, see, when you create a table, so for that there's a query. Now let me tell you like this. So this is your database. So now to interact with the database, you have to write something called as SQL Query, structured query language. So your database will only understand SQL queries. It will not understand your Java. It will not understand Python. So whatever you have to do to interact with the database, you have to write a SQL query for that. So now to write this SQL query, so basically what are you trying to do is you're connecting to the database using Java and running this query. That's it. Ultimately, your database only understands SQL query. Remember that. So when you create a table in the database, now every table will have a name. And table will have columns. Every column will have a name. And there's something called as a primary key, PK, in every table. So what is PK? PK is nothing but it's basically so if I have to tell you, see any you would make me to teach RDBMS completely, believe me. So there is something called as constraints. Okay, so whenever you create a table, every column you have to say that what type of data it has to take. So if it has to take a number, in the case of MySQL, it is int. That means employee ID is there. Employee ID I want to have. That employee ID, which database it should take? Integer data type. Int. What is the number of digits the employee ID should have? Say up to 6 digits. Then employee name, say ename. What is it? String. Then salary. What is it? Int. Right? So if you just see here, there should not be any employee without any employee ID. Correct? Every employee should have an employee ID. And then all the employee IDs should be unique. There should not be any duplicate values. Correct? So employee name can be duplicate. There could be a Smith here. There could be one more Smith over here. There's a possibility. In India, especially if you see so many duplicate names. But ID has to be unique. So in any table, there will be one column which is very much appropriate and which is a primary key of the table, using which when you fetch the data, you will always get the unique data. Meaning there will be a column which is unique also, which will have all the unique values also, and it will not have any null values. It is not null also. So unique plus not null will make a primary key. So primary key is a important column of the table using which you can fetch the unique records from the table. For now, employee ID, student register number, your Aadhaar number. So these are all the primary keys because they cannot be duplicate. They cannot be not null. They cannot be null also. Okay. So I hope most of you already know this. So you have to tell what type of constraint the column will have and what type of data it has to take. While creating the table, you have to give the name of the table, then name of the column, then the data type, then the constraint. Like that you have to give. Then the table gets created. That's it. So that is how I have created this table. That's how I created ID, ename, and salary. Okay, so this is a table, right? So now let me just go, in case if I have a logs history, I can show you what command I executed. I think there were very earlier commands, it is gone. So leave that. So I can share you the, you will get that, just it is, select create table emp, then there's some syntax that you have to give. Sys dot, always remember you use schema name dot table name, schema name dot table name, that's it. If I say select star from emp, just run this, it will give you this. Retry. Why the database is closed? Let me just see here. Give me a second, maybe the system got restarted. Yes, 1 second. Okay, this guy got closed. Let us run this now. Open it. MySQL Workbench. You just open the Workbench. You don't have to open the command line. You can do these things from the command line also. Just open it from the command, Workbench. So what I want from all of you is, please install the MySQL database on your Windows machine. You will get enough resources for that. If you face any problem, let me know. So install the MySQL database and then just create an employee table with the information that I will pass on. And then let us try to write some simple JDBC Java code, which is going to put or fetch the data from the or into the database. That's what I would like to teach you. Okay, so let me close this. This is a shell. We don't want that shell. We just want to do it from the Workbench. Okay, now this is a MySQL Workbench. So when you create the MySQL database, it will ask you to, so this is what it is. You will have a connection here like this. It will come. You don't have to worry. It's a very lightweight database. It should be all good. Yeah, so now let us run this. So select star from EMP. See, now you are at least getting it. Now that connection was maybe closed. I'm also not that great fan or user of MySQL. I've been using Oracle, so like most of you. So, but just to teach, I had to just install MySQL and I'm teaching you. Okay, so this is what it is. Any questions, anybody on so far whatever we discussed? Just go to schemas here. Don't go to administration schemas. This is where you will see the physical table. This is where you see the physical table like this. Okay, so if you want to basically select only one column, then you can say select, instead of star, you can just say column name. Just see here. Select what? ID, comma, say ename from sys.emp. Okay, just run this. It will only give you that, right? So this is simple database query. All of you know that ABC of it. So now our intention is not to learn MySQL here. Our intention is there's already a database. We just want to connect to that, right? How do we do that? Any questions so far?
No, but
Preeti, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Sneha Priya, Satya Priya, do you have any questions?
No questions, sir.
Okay. Arif?
No questions.
Wonderful. So I have already tried this. Okay, so I will just explain that instead of writing everything once again from the beginning. It's a very, very simple code. Very, very simple code, believe me. Right, so what is that I will do now is I will just show you the basic query first. Okay. What is a basic query? Any query is fine. Now, as I said, see this again, the example, simple example, which you can get it from the internet as well. So now see, as I said, you need to have the URL. You need to have the URL where the database is running. So what is the URL? for MySQL, this is a URL. It is JDBC :MySQL : /localhost. Always it is running on 3306 port and your schema. This is a URL. Okay. And the root is the username by default. And the password is, while installing the MySQL database, you would have given the password. I have given it as admin. That's why I've given it as admin over here. So these are the three things that you need. JDBC URL, username, password. That's it. Then, so this is something that, as I said, you need to have a connection. You need to connect. I will tell you what are these things: connection, statement, and result set. I'll tell you what are these things. So basically, these are the three classes that you need. Before I actually run this, one important thing I forgot. Because you are trying to read from MySQL database, that means there should be a Java code which is able to read from MySQL database, right? So by default, whatever JDK or JVM that you have, all the libraries that you have, the GRE libraries, so they see these GRE libraries. In this, there is no jar available for connecting to either Oracle database or MySQL database. It is not there. So by default, it will not be there. You have to add that dependency in your pom.xml. So what is the dependency for that? I have added it over here. What is that? That is this dependency. Can you see it? MySQL connector. This jar is required because all this code, that is connector, statement, result set, all are coming from that particular jar only. Java.sql.connection, Java.sql.result set, SQL exception statement, like that. Okay, so remember, you have to add which jar? JSON, sorry, not JSON. This JSON is something that I would teach you anyway. So MySQL connector Java version that I've installed is 8.0.18. I will just ping you this on the Zoom chat quickly so that you make a note of this. Whatever is there in the Zoom chat will go away once I close the session. Okay, you may have to better copy that. So once you install this, then just a simple query is what you have to write. Now, what is the query? Let me just show it. What is the code that you have to write? So create an object of connection class. Create an object of the connection class. That is the first step. So how do you create an object of the connection class? Just see here, device manage. See, basically the connection is already there. You are trying to access that connection. So device manager, sorry, driver manager dot get connection. This is a syntax. This is a driver manager is a class and this is a method. You just pass user URL, user, password. Then you created an object of which class? Connection class. That is connection. After that, this is a fixed, okay? This is fixed. Any database, this is fixed. Only thing that will change is your classes will change. You are basically, instead of adding the MySQL jar, you will add some jar which is related to SQL Server or DB2 or Oracle, like that. Okay. Now, first step is to create the connection object of the connection class. It is connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection, this one. And then so you need to basically create an object of the statement. See, this is a syntax, because we really don't know, so what exactly is the code which is there over here. You need to go to this Java code and see that. But create the object of the connection class, create the object of the statement class. See, so how do you create the object of the statement class? Con dot create statement. This will give you an object of the statement class. The return type is statement. Once you get the statement, in this statement class, there is a method called as execute query. That's it. You should know only these three steps: connection class, statement class, and then what? Result set. Okay, so basically you got the object of the connection class, you got the object of the statement. Using statement, you are executing what? You are using what? Execute query. What is the query that you want to run? You want to run select ID ename sal from EMP. That's what you want to run. Correct? So when you get this, now the beauty here is when you run this query, the result that you get is what is called as a result set. Remember that. It is just like your set collection, right? It is a result set. This is result set is a basically class in your MySQL jar that you've added here. You might have added this jar, right? In this jar, if you see, there's a class called as result set. You got an object of the result set now. So what you have to do now? Okay, so just to be little careful here. So result set will have, see, it's as good as you are running which query? Select id, ename, sal from emp. Right? This is a query that we are running. Let us see what is the answer that you get when you run this on our SQL Workbench. Okay, select that line and then run this. This is what you're getting. This is what you have to get, right? So what is the first column? ID. What is the type of ID? Int, number. What is the type of name? String. What is the type of sal? Number, int. So you need to be a little careful here. The first column that you want to get, this is your query, okay? This query you can change. ID. So what is the ID type? Int. So you have to say get int here. Result set means it has given you the complete object of all the results. You're saying that get me the first column which is of the type int. Then get me the second column which is of the type string. Get me the third column which is again of the type string. Sorry, int. See, int, string, int. That's what I want to get. So this is just like your iterator. Until you finish all the rows, keep getting me that one by one. So that means what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get the data which is there in the first row. That is the ID, name, salary. ID, name, salary. ID, name, salary. How many rows are there? You keep getting that. So this is just to, it will throw the exception. That is why I know we have added this. This is a best practice because you have to close the connection. You have to close the statement. You have to close the result set. That is why we have to do this. Otherwise, even if you simply throw the exception is also fine. Now see, I will just delete all this for your understanding. Deleted everything, okay? And then deleted the try block also. It will still work. Only thing is just have to throw an exception. See, everything will work. Don't get confused with the too much of query which is there. Okay, everything is gone. Now see, let me run this. That will throw an exception. This guy will also throw an exception in case if any exception comes. So let us see. Here, ID 100. I'm printing like this. Ename Peter, salary 5,000. ID 200, ename Smith, salary 6,000. Like that. So you're able to get whatever you want. You see, that's what it's come. ID 300, John, like that. Whatever was there. You can sort here like this. I don't want to sort anyways. Like this is what it is. Most of you already have hands-on with the database. That's why I'm not spending time here. Just remember, first line to get the connection object, then get the statement object, and then execute the query. You'll get a result set until the result. That means you are iterating over the rows. When you iterate over the rows, get the columns one by one, like this. Okay. Any questions? Anybody here? Any questions? Any questions? So if you give the data type wrong here for first column, if you give the data type a string, then you will get a SQL exception. Okay. This is a simple query, very simple program to fetch the data from MySQL database. Any questions here? Anybody? Umapati, do you have any questions?
No.
Have you done this anytime, Umapati? Have you done this?
No, Patil, I have not.
Okay. So Satyapriya, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No question.
Have you done this anytime earlier?
No. I haven't
Okay.
done.
Can you just give a try today?
Yeah, sure. Sir.
Okay. Preeti, do you have any questions?
Yeah, no questions.
Have you done this earlier?
Yeah, I have done similar steps earlier.
Okay. Can you just give a try today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Arif, how about you?
No, I haven't done this.
So can you just give a try today?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now, what is this query here? Select the count of star from EMP means you want to know how many employees are there. Count of star means count of any column. Count is what you're trying to get. Any, uh, you're basically trying to get the count. See, the count is what? 6, right? So what is the 6? 6 is a type of what? Int. So you want to run this query. Now see what is changes here. Everything is same. This is same. This is same. This is same. What is changing over here? Get int of 1. That's it. So whatever is the number of, because the output is what? Count is going to give you number. Always remember. Okay. So there are some other queries which you can get strings, but count will give you number. I'm just saying the total number of employees in the table is plus count. That's it. So simple. Let me run this now. Run. See, total number of employees is 6. So now I will show you one more query, which is nothing but basically going to run some insert some data. So for inserting data, the query is this: insert into table name. You have to give the column names, ID, comma, name, comma, salary. Slash n is basically up to you. Even if you don't add, is also fine. This basically, it's going into another line. That's it. You have to say values. You know the syntax, right? Most of you know the syntax, I believe. Insert into, if you just give this, it will do that. Let us do this over here now, just to show it to you. Okay, let me copy this and run this command for you. So insert into employee, that is ID and sys.employee. You have to say employee, that's fine. ID command slash n is not required. It's values. Yeah. So 1 second. So insert into employee, ID, ename, salary. Values are 600, Blake 3 and 900. Maybe 600 is already there. I'll just say 650 just for our understanding. Blake 3 was already inserted. I'll say Blake 4. And then instead of 9,000, I'll say 9,500. Okay. Then select this and this. This will say that insert is successful, right? You'll get a success. So if you just want to see that, what do you do? Select star from EMP. Now see, this guy got insert, Blake 4. Right? So now similarly, the same thing we are doing it using query now. So what we will do is, we will just see duplicate values you cannot enter. This is not null and unique. If you give duplicate values, it will scold you. It will scold you. Okay, so let us say 700. Blake 4 is there. Blake 5, I'll do it. And then 9,500 is there. Then maybe I'll do it as 10,000. Okay, everything is same. Here, instead of saying execute query, here in this case it's called as execute update query. That's all. These are all, forget it. This is just handling the exception. Only this part. Even this all is same. When you do the insert query, or basically they are called as DDLs. When you basically change the statement, change the data, insert the data, or change the column names, or data type, etc. So you just have to say that execute update query. That's all. Here it was execute query. Here it is execute update query. Rest all is same. See here? Here it is execute update query. So now if I run this, it should go back and insert one more record into our table. This. No exception. That means it should have gone well. Let me execute this query. See here, this guy has come. Okay, not this guy. This guy here. See, this guy has come. Blake 5. Is it clear? So I know I have not taught you how to insert, MySQL database and all. So believe me, this is a topic that I just added because I don't know. Somebody was asking. I don't remember. Rajita was asking. I don't know. So I just added this. Okay, I just quickly tried installing MySQL database yesterday, and then I just tried running the simple queries, it works. So I'm just showing it to you as it is. Any questions here, anybody? Preeti, do you have any questions?
No
Preeti?
questions. No questions.
So can you give a try?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Satyapriya, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Umapati, do you have any questions?
No button.
Okay. Arif, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No. I don't have any.
All right. So all of you have to try. Okay. So now this Jenkins seems to be up and running. Let me just give a try now. Guy is not starting. Okay, so sometimes if it's getting hang, just do one click. Okay, so what I wanted to show you was, okay, so whatever changes we have done, let us push them first. Okay, so there's a base class, there is a change, right? Because you need that in your in my Git repository, right? Compare with branch tag master. This is how I have to do always. You don't have to check with master. Because I'm in master, I'm checking with that. You have to check with the remote one, which of the same branch. So what is the change here? The change is edge driver. Is there any other change? This one is changed. Yeah, you need these two, right? So just push it. How do I push it? Right click, team, commit. Okay, I'm just saying here which class you have to change now. Base class is what you have to change. Just be careful. See, these are all the changes. You can directly push them at one shot, but we are doing it one by one. Okay, just to be a little safer side. So where is the base class here? Library. This one. We are in the base class, right? So base class is already added here because we selected that. Yeah. So adding the support for Edge browser, right? Just say commit and push. It will directly get pushed to the master. Yeah. Okay. So now we commit and push again. Okay, this guy is at least going forward now. So we committed the base class now. What are the other changes that are there? Other base class change is gone now. See, there's no arrow here. Common library also has got changes now. So you can just right click here, just compare, quickly compare. I'm just showing it to you again and again so that you become familiar. So what are the changes here in the common library? This is the only change that I've added. For Edge, I think it was required. That's why I added, right? So Edge needed some time here. Commit. This one, right? So increasing the sleep time required for Edge browser. Okay, I'll say commit and push. This guy also has gone. Now let us see what is the other change that we want to do now in the test. What are the changes in the test I've added? So this is a new file. Okay, this is a new file. This is the first time I will be pushing it. So let us see how do I push it so that you can all use it. Right click, team, commit. Okay. So where is the Java to SQL file here? Classes. So Java to SQL, right? So just select this and then say add. Right, and when you add that, it will come here. Adding a new file to read and write from MySQL DB. Okay, commit and push. So there is no add here, just commit and push. It will basically commit and push. Now this file will come to your remote repository. Close. Then in the login also there is a change. What is the change? Let us quickly see. In the login, as I said, what are the changes? We've committed these two. If you don't want to commit, let it be there. See, you don't want now. Whatever is there is okay. I don't want to commit this. Remove this. You see, click here like this. And then again, go back here. Go up. You don't want to commit this. Let the test case be there as it is. Put it back. That's it. Now there are no changes. That means login class has no changes now. Yeah. After putting it over here local, then say save. Control yes. That's it. There are no changes between you and master now. See the extra colon that has come will go away now. Arrow. Okay, so why this is triggering, I'll tell you. That's what I actually wanted to teach you today. And then in the configure properties also, the change is there, which is we have added the Edge browser. Right click, commit. Directly I'll commit, okay? I'll not see the difference in all. And then here I would say adding Edge browser. Five minutes more, not more than that. So where is that went? Sorry. Jenkins guy is not coming. Okay, so mostly we have pushed everything. Is there anything else? Okay, this employee.json is there. So let us push this so that we can discuss this tomorrow. See, always remember, don't push anything which is there in the output or dot. Okay, pom.xml also there's a change. You can select this and then you can select this. And then say right click and then say commit. Team. Commit. See, what are the files that you want to add now? One is pom.xml, the other one is your employee.json, right? So pom.xml has come. Employee.json also, if you want to add it like this. Okay, adding emp.json file and dependency for MySQL database. Right, say commit. Okay. This is not launching Jenkins. So it is launching a job, by the way. It is launching a job. So now why your test cases are getting triggered, you know, because I've created a job in Jenkins which says that whenever there's any change in the code in this particular Git repository, please trigger a new job. So that's what it was doing. So triggering 7 is what it's doing. Triggering 7. Right. Why the Jenkins is URL is not up, I'm not sure. See Git project pooling. So basically, I'll anyway show you this in the tomorrow session once it is completely up. So what I have done is I have created. Okay, just give me let me give you a information over here. So this is my Jenkins, which is running on my local machine. This is Jenkins. Then this is my GitHub. This is what happens in the real time. Okay. So now what I'm saying is from my local machine, whenever I push any code change to my GitHub, so I have written a job in Jenkins, which is saying that what it is doing is every 2 minutes it is polling to this GitHub repository. Every 2 minutes it is checking, every 2 minutes it is checking. So if there is any change in any of the code over here, it will keep comparing, it will have a delta over here, it will have a basically hash of that, and if there's any change here, any new code is pushed, then what it will do, it will trigger this job, Jenkins. That is the job that I just wanted to show it to you, because we've done many check-ins now. That is why it would trigger a job for us. Now see, now it is Edge. Now why this Edge browser is launching here? Because the change that we have pushed, right, at 2 minutes over now, that's why it is triggering this test case now. I will show you that job tomorrow. Maybe it's not launching now. Ideally it should have launched. Let me just give a try last time. So I'm going to show you this. HTTP port is 9666. Yeah, but it is not launching. It's not launching. See, the test cases are running though. Okay, so the test cases are running though, but the Jenkins, only the job is what I have to show it to you. I'll show that to you. So, but what I want from all of you is, please watch the session that we discussed last week about Jenkins, setting up of Jenkins, and then you should be able to set it up, on your own, like Umapati has done. You also should be able to do it. Then this job part, I'll take care of that, in the next session. Okay, so don't worry about that. But today we have covered about only two things we have covered. I'll show you this Jenkins job again. We have covered about the JDBC connection, and then we covered about the what was the other topic that we covered today? Edge browser. So these are the two topics that we have covered, right? So we are left out with these four topics. Extent report, JSON is a very simple thing. I would have shown it to you if everything was up and running, but it's already time. JSON and extent report quickly we can cover. BDD is very one important topic, so we need to spare some time for this. Okay, hopefully tomorrow we will try to close everything. Selenium grid is a very optional one, let me tell you now itself, because this is used for parallel execution. That's it. The job of Selenium grid is for parallel execution. Other than that, it's not going to do anything else. Okay, so even if you say that you don't know Selenium grid, it's okay. Nobody would expect you to know this, and it's not required also. It is always an optional one, right? Because it needs some configurations, and it is a little bit tedious, I would say. But ultimately what it is doing is, it is just opening multiple instances of the browser and running it. I would love to show you that as well, but I'm trying to keep these three as the targets for tomorrow. Okay, and then we shall try to officially close it. Okay, so I know maybe in the end we are a little bit kind of have to cover and rush a little bit, but I was expecting that all of you are kind of up to date and running all this, but seeing that you have to spend some more time now, I have pushed all the changes. Please clone the latest Maven project from my GitHub. Let us quickly see whether all the changes have come there or not. So that you can clone Maven project. See, employee.json, everything has come. Okay, so in the SRC test, if you just see SRC Java, Combat Selenium, if you just see the test class, so you have Java to MySQL. This is there. Okay, and then in the SRC test data, you have employee.json. This is also there. So whatever changes that are required, that's all there now. You can just clone it, and then you will have everything ready. Okay, and let us see the Pombat XML, which is the most important one. If you don't have that, then yeah, it is there. This is also there. And even for JSON also, to read JSON, there is a jar that is required, JSON simple jar. So I've added that as well. So you can use this and then try to practice whatever we have covered today. And then tomorrow we'll take it again. Don't worry. It's getting hanged actually. Believe me. See, I am having Zoom running, MySQL database running, and then Jenkins running, ActiveTime running on a local machine. Right? It will really cry. I know that. So that's why I'm not able to show you Jenkins. We will close all this, then I'll be able to show you. So by tomorrow, I would want all of you to spend some time, struggle a little bit in installing MySQL. I know you will have a little tough time to install that initially once or twice. Then you should be able to do it, and then just try these queries yourself. Okay, and Edge browser also you can try, and then the remaining part we will see that anyways. Okay, Preeti, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have.
So can you just give a try all of this and let me know tomorrow?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Okay, so please feel free to log off, Preeti. It's very late for you. So as I said, tomorrow we'll try to close it. If not, we'll see. Okay, otherwise these are the topics that are left over. Nothing beyond this. Okay, so these are the topics that are left over, which we made a note earlier. And these are the ones that are coming up down the line. Let me see when I can, frame the course for that. Yeah, so Preeti, if you don't have any questions, I would want you to try all this before you come to tomorrow's class. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks. So what I'll do is today's video. Yeah, let me put it in the YouTube channel because this was more of a. I don't know when I started recording. I started recording late only, right? Okay. I think then I can push this video. I'll put this video into the channel. Satyapriya, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No questions.
So can you practice all this today and then come back tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, ma. See you then. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you.